Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. So for today's review, I'll be reviewing Miss Peregrine's School for Gifted Children. Wait, that's not right. It's Home for Peculiar Children. Sorry, X-Men fans. It's not X-Men. It just kind of is X-Men. It's like X-Men First Class meets Groundhog Day. So, yes, cat. I don't know if you can hear, but my cat decided he was going to chime in on this movie review. What do you have to say? Speak up. Nothing? Okay, back to the review. Anyway, so this is based off a book series. I take it. I actually have no knowledge of the books themselves. Heard this movie is very different from the book, as you can probably imagine it would be. I don't know. I mean, adaptations tend to go off in their own way a little bit. But 2 hours, 7 minutes long. It is directed by Tim Burton. It's about this boy named Jacob, who, there's an incident with his grandfather, and he has to go and look for Peregrine's Miss P's home for peculiar children, and it's all about discovering that and being introduced to the world and what have you. He's also being sought after by a villain, which is Samuel L. Jackson, among a couple others. I'm not trying to give away too much. I hope I didn't really give away too much. But let's go through this. Ava Green, man, I'm a big fan of Ava Green. I've liked her in everything I've seen her in. So I think she does a great job here. I think she does. I think she actually brings some acting talent to this film, which is surprising to say because Judi Dench is in the movie, but barely. Asa Butterfield as our main protagonist, Jake, is serviceable, I guess, but at the same time, it looks like he was really reserved in this role, and I'm not sure why. Like, some of his reactions, I don't think they would be very genuine if you were, in this situation that he ends up being. So there's that. But I also say that Samuel L. Jackson, he's having fun. You can tell he's having fun. And I can't really fault him for that. The amount of cheese that he brings in a way to this film is hilarious. So I'll go with it. But this is kind of like X-Men First Class and Groundhog Day. There's definitely the Groundhog Day element that kind of stretches throughout the whole story and how the characters deal around that and everything. So, there is that to it. At the same time, you have to build the world up. This is the first movie, and it's kind of a hit and miss with that one. Because I think there's elements of the world building that actually works out pretty well. I like seeing the kids, I like seeing their powers, and hearing kind of some of the mythology behind everything that's happening. Which, when they're doing story points like that, it can feel like they're kind of droning on too much. There's so much groundwork they have to lay for it. But I think it worked out fine there. What I think it fails at, for me, is at the beginning of the movie, for instance, very awkward. Some awkward cuts, some acting that I'm too thrilled with, some story points that were just kind of thrown there. And that's the thing with this movie too, is it does skip over several things that I feel like it should have addressed better. It's really hard not to go into it, but I think it did a decent job of laying the groundwork, but it doesn't excel like, say, First Class did or Groundhog Day did. It tries to incorporate all these ideas, but they're kind of thrown in there a little sloppy. The characters themselves don't get as much screen time as I would have preferred. We're supposed to kind of be on board with Jake, the main character, but at times it kind of does feel like he's just not in the moment as far as what's happening. Like, it's just like he's elsewhere. There's a romance in this movie that kind of builds. I actually don't mind that per se. I think it builds okay for what it has. Samuel L. Jackson, like I said, is over the top as a villain, and he doesn't really have that much depth to him. So I would have preferred that. In fact, there's not too much depth you get to any of the characters. There's quite literal points that they could have tried to address in some sense. They raised some questions, but they don't really delve into it. There's some scary moments in this for little kids. I will say that. The CG is okay. Also, back to the scary real quick. The opening itself, I thought maybe I was in the wrong theater. So there's some definite Tim Burton marks on this movie, including use of stop motion. So if you're a fan of that, that's fine. I think that's closer to him being back to form than some of his previous movies I've seen. So he's on the right path. Definitely an interesting story in concept, a little sloppy in execution, some intriguing characters, but not enough depth, some good acting, some serviceable acting, some acting that I was like, yeah, you're having fun, and I'm having fun because you're having fun kind of thing. So giving it a rating 1 through 10, I'm going to push it and give it a 6 out of 10. I thought there was just enough there, and even though it's over 2 hours, and it probably could have been even cut down and kind of fit a little better for the amount of time, I felt like it worked fine at 2 hours. I wasn't really bored in it, and it seemed like the audience was on board overall. But anyway, that's my thoughts about it. What are your thoughts about it? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid, and if so, click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.